Saudi Arabia announces that it has lifted a driving ban against women.
It is my job to ensure that we maintain a good relationship with the United States, particularly.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau plans to visit Mexico and the U.S. next month as NAFTA talks continue. And up in arms, Uber protests hit London and the drive-share app may quit Quebec. Humber News starts now.
Hi, I'm Sarah Flores, coming to you from our newsroom at Humber's North Campus. Thanks for joining us. Here's what's making news this hour. It's a historic day for women in Saudi Arabia. The government has announced a plan to let them get behind the wheel.
A royal decree has been issued in Saudi Arabia, giving women the right to drive. This is a historic day for Saudi society, for men and women, and we can now say at last.
A committee has been formed to implement the ruling. It will present recommendations within 30 days. The change will take effect in June 2018. Saudi leaders also hope the new policy will help the economy by increasing women's participation in the workplace. In other news, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will be traveling to Mexico and the U.S. next month. He will meet with Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto and U.S. officials. This visit comes while NAFTA talks are continuing. Leaders fear that a new deal won't be reached by the end of the year. At the moment, Canada is pushing Mexico for higher labor standards. Uber has announced it may leave Quebec over new rules by the province. The general manager of Uber Quebec says the province demand for 35 hours of training for drivers is too much. Meanwhile, in London, the company's taxi license won't be renewed after the end of the month, and people aren't happy. Several drivers are now protesting London's transport's decision. They say their livelihood depends on it. Drivers are calling for basic rights for workers and want the company to be responsible for them. Uber argues that its drivers are self-employed. Uber London serves over 3 million customers and 40,000 drivers will be affected. The company has collected over 70,000 signatures to protest London's decision. In Southern California, more than 1,500 people have had to flee their homes due to a wildfire. The so-called Canyon Fire started Monday afternoon in the Santa Ana Mountains. Over 800 hectares of land was burned by Tuesday morning. Firefighters were called to protect homes and were assisted by water dropping, aircrafts, and bulldozers. Temperatures across the state have also spiked during an ongoing heat wave. By last night, the fire was only 15% contained. A big setback for Bombardier, the U.S. Department of Commerce has proposed a 220% duty charge for a series of commercial jets. The trade dispute could jeopardize defense contracts between Boeing and the U.S. government. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has said he will stand by Bombardier in order to protect Canadian aerospace companies. The final ruling is expected in March. We're going to take a quick break. Still ahead, the latest in sports. But first, Lindsay Newman has a preview of our 3-day forecast.
Thanks, Sarah. The past few days may have been hot and humid, but it's starting to cool down. How cool will the temperatures be? We have 3-day forecasts coming up next, including the weather heading into the weekend.